Hey, did you miss us? We know you did, because back by popular demand for you, the people, it's I'm Just Saying with Mark
And Fallon.
and Rexy.
And Rexy.
Because it's a special movie review featuring Rexy. That's right. Jurassic Park, The Lost World. The second chapter of the Jurassic Park saga. Starring...
Jeff Goldblum.
Huh? Rexy. Yes, it's the 1997 smash hit, starring Jeff Goldblum, the returning of the three from the Jurassic Park movie, and of the summer of 97, of dinosaurs on a different island this time, but starring Jeff Goldblum, Vince Vaughn, and earlier in his career, and a bunch of people who you probably know if you saw them. But yes, this is the second chapter, and typically with most second chapters, you go bigger, sometimes darker, bloodier, and this one definitely did all that.
Agreed. This is the one where they have all of the dinosaurs on a different island, where they said that they bred them and then moved some over to the actual Jurassic Park.
/ world, yeah. This one is Isla Nublar.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, they bred them on this island and then moved them over, but now that the first park has been shut down, they're running free and living their own eco world. And Hammond's lost control because at the beginning of the movie, this British family just happened to find the island and chill for a little while, and they got attacked, so the nephew takes over and wants to bring all the dinos to here in the U.S. For as featured in most sequels, they change a little bit of the backstory, and the original plan was to put them all into a theme park located in San Diego. Mm-hmm. So instead, the Hammond wants to send Ian Malcolm and 3 others to the island, basically to scout them out, but also to stop them, courtesy of Vince Vaughn's character, who just happens to be the G.I. Joe of the island. I'll get more into him later, but so yeah, this is the first attempt to bring the dinosaurs to the mainland. Since the first movie, Ian Malcolm's basically been disgraced because he spoke out against the island, and everyone now hates him and laughs at him. And
well, they discredited him and said that he was a liar, so now the public, thinks he's crazy, and they got a little part of that when he's on the train, and people are looking at him and saying, "I believed you."
There was a cool little cameo from the kids from the first movie, Lex and Tim, but it was just nothing but a cameo.
Yeah, very brief.
I would have liked to see more of them. Because the kid that shows up later, this is the first movie where I absolutely do not care for the kid, even though Steven Spielberg loves to use kids in his movies, as evidenced by several from his past. But they introduce one of, and I say one of because in the first Jurassic Park he says he has
3 kids.
3 kids and always looking for the X. But in this one, it only basically applies he has 1.
But she did make a comment where she said, "You like to have kids, you just don't like to be around them," or something like that. So she said kids, plural.
I know.
So.
But yeah, so she stows away and she ends up on the island with the rest of them, and she is easily a forgotten character for me. I could have done without her, and so yeah, that's...
Yeah, I really liked Vince Vaughn, and I liked the girlfriend.
Julianne Moore, in one of her earlier roles, that this movie shot her to stardom along with Boogie Nights. But yeah, I definitely liked her, and I liked her in this role as Ian Malcolm's girlfriend, the paleontologist, I believe she was.
Yeah, and she went to the island alone, and then Ian and the rest of them came, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned into a rescue mission because Ian didn't want any of them to go until he found out she went.
Yeah, and then he went to rescue her.
And then the nephew showed up with all his people, and then it turned out to be trying to rescue the dinosaurs. And then everything just kind of totally got jumbled up. As far as the supporting cast, you know, Richard Schiff, I forget his character's name, but he was, may he rest in pieces after what happened to his character. But he was good as the fourth wheel of that little group. And then all the people, including, you know, the nephew, this is one of the first ones, well, I guess not. But of course you got the corporate evil greed behind everything, and that's what you're trying to stop. But overall, I thought the movie was well casted, and they did pretty good this time. Just like with the first one, Spielberg did pretty good waiting to show us the big bad dinosaur that everyone loves to come and see, Rexy.
Yeah.
Actually, the first one that they introduce is the baby.
Yeah, you see the baby because they tried to use it as bait to get the T-Rex to come out, and then Vince Vaughn's character came, and the baby's leg was hurt, so he took it and took it back to Julianne Moore so that they could fix his leg, which happens. Which then happens with the mama and daddy T-Rex.
Mama's very angry. Another giveaway line by Jeff Goldblum.
It's a very, very long, drawn-out, intense scene in the trailer.
Right.
Which, first of all, duh. I mean, you have a T-Rex baby that's making noise. Of course, the parents are gonna follow.
But that was one of the featured things. They didn't know how close the T-Rex unit was, if they would follow the baby.
It was a baby. Of course they're going to be pretty close.
Are you a dinosaur expert?
Maybe.
Okay. But from the introduction of the T-Rex, both T-Rexes, of course you got a sequel, so you got to go bigger and badder. Mom and Daddy show up. Mommy's very angry. Which one of the scary parts was when they opened the door to give the baby back, and you're staring down a T-Rex head. That was intense.
Yeah. And she gives the baby back, and she's just smiling like...
And then they think everything, and then all of a sudden, Goldblum's famous line, Mommy's very angry, and then they go over the cliff.
Hold on to something.
Hold on to something! Now, yes, once she's on that glass, and that was very intense, and what's going to happen, but then that entire scene kind of drags on for a while, too long, and of course, that's when Richard Schiff's character shows up, and unfortunately gets eaten, trying to save them all.
But he did save them.
He did. But again, they're still hanging on the thing. That scene was a little too long for me. A little too drawn out.
How they were hanging on the rope and the trailer just so fell around them and didn't touch them at all.
I do like his joke though, where he tries to order a couple cheeseburgers, fries, and a cherry or an apple turnover.
Apple turnover.
Even though that felt forced. And then even after, so the two T-Rexes eat their friend, and they're hanging over the cliff, and then all of a sudden that entire group of that was just happened to be there showed up, including getting the daughter out of the tree. So I don't know how much time was supposed to have passed during that, but that just kind of seemed a little weird if two T-Rexes are literally probably still there.
Yeah. All of a sudden they're just gone.
So, but yeah, so the story moves on from there. And then, of course, you got more T-Rex action, which is always welcome, chasing them down. And then with Ian Malcolm looking over everything. They also have the, which the compies ate that one guy. But then, of course, the lawyer's like, all right, let's go, everybody. And nobody wants to listen. And Vince Vaughn gets up and, all right, guys, let's get the hell out of here. And then everyone gets up.
Well, they like Vince Vaughn.
Previously, they didn't all know those people. I just felt that was a little forced to try and force. I don't know.
That's very true.
But again, I liked him in the movie, but some of the stuff felt a little too forced.
The scene where they were all sleeping out at night, and then the T-Rex comes into the tent with the girls. And then that the guy starts screaming, so then the T-Rex like brings his nose up, or I don't remember if it was a boy or girl, but and then all of a sudden they're out of the tent. And aren't tents usually like the bottom is hooked to the top? So when that T-Rex would have done that, wouldn't those girls went with it?
I don't know.
I'm just saying that was, I don't know.
If I camp at a Holiday Inn.
Exactly.
So
But there's no Holiday Inns on Isle Nublar or whatever it was.
Isle Nublar. But yes, that was obviously something that probably changed for the sake of the movie, and
Jeff Goldblum was just sitting there staring. That thing's in there with his daughter, and he's just like, oh.
What would you do?
Well, in the first movie, he got the T-Rex's attention away from people.
And then he was out the rest of the movie for it.
Well, this was his daughter.
But this one, he was starring in it. His daughter was fine.
Let her get eaten.
He's got others. But yes, and then so you go from the waterfall scene, then you have to introduce the velociraptors, which...
The meadow of velociraptors.
I wasn't a fan of the velociraptors in the first trilogy, probably until Blue came along in the sequels. And I definitely wasn't a fan of them here.
They were just all walking in this tall grass, and then there's just raptors everywhere.
Which, that was a way to kill off pretty much the entire cast very quickly. As all those people that rescued them were pretty much gone.
They should have just went, Blue. Blue.
So...
You know me.
But yeah, Ian Malcolm got hurt again during all that. But he still had a pretty good intense scene trying to fight off the velociraptor. And then, of course, the scene where Sarah Harding and the daughter are trapped in the whatever that thing was, and she ends up having to try to save Daddy and kicks off the velociraptor. You got kicked off of gymnastics or whatever? That was just kind of another cheesy throwaway.
Yeah. And then, what's her name? Juliana Moore. When she gets, like, not attacked, but the raptor by herself, and she's, like, hanging off the roof, and then she falls, and they're fighting, and they, like, roll over her a couple times, but they're too preoccupied with each other, and then she, like, falls down a hill or something, and she falls out this window, and just happened to be Jeff Goldblum right there, and she's just like, get up and start running. I was like, what?
That was convenient. Yeah. But, so yes, that's where you think the movie is going to end. Everything wraps up. But no, they were able to capture the male dinosaur T-Rex to bring and save the plan and bring him and the baby back to the mainland, San Diego, which was Steven Spielberg's homage to Godzilla. Because you have a monster terrorizing the city, and there's even, Japanese people or whatever in one of the scenes that are running screaming. So that was his little way of doing an homage to Godzilla.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, but there was definitely scenes cut, which if you know them about the behind the scenes, when the boat shows up and they're inspecting the ship and the T-Rex, how did like the boat captain and all those people in the little cabin died, and apparently there was velociraptor that was supposed to be on the ship, but it was all bigger than the budget would allow, but that explained a lot of how there was just random pieces of people everywhere. And then something about and then the T-Rex, which, so the boat comes in, crashes, and someone lets the T-Rex out because the baby was loose and brought in separately already is in the San Diego theater. And now Daddy or Mommy or whoever, or no, it's Daddy because they wanted the male. Daddy's loose.
And starts running through neighborhoods and the town and ends up drinking out of somebody's pool. Mm-hmm. And the little kid's like, there's a T-Rex in our backyard.
And the parents don't believe, which is supposed to be a funny, which, yeah, growing up, the dad's always going to want to give them bigger and better and let them see monster movies and blah, blah, blah. Mom doesn't think he could handle it, so it's kind of a little joke. And then you look outside and
there's really a T-Rex.
There's Rexy. So that was a cool scene, and I'm sure that family probably didn't make it out of there. But yeah, it was just kind of like a funny little. I mean, who knows if there's going to be dinosaurs running around in a future movie in the suburbs? But it was kind of a little fun idea if it does happen. So yes, Ian Malcolm, and then they go get the baby, and they're looking for the T-Rex, and all of us just listen for the screams, and then Rexy's tearing up San Diego. Luckily, they find him in a mobile gas station, I think, because you can see the little ball rolling around.
I think it was the 76.
Something, yeah.
I don't know. They had the baby in the convertible, and they were trying to lure Daddy.
Slow down. Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It was still a fun little scene. I mean, I'm a fan of it. I know some people aren't, but because I can't get enough of T-Rex. It was still a fun little chase scene as they head back to the ship to try and capture them. Which they all end up back in the ship. They lure the baby. They put the baby down in the thing and get him out and get the T-Rexy back in.
And the baby kills that guy.
Yep, tries because the nephew goes down there and ends up getting trapped and probably eaten. And then, if you remember at the beginning of that scene, the top of the container was all messed up, but then when they closed it, it could fit conveniently back in. So that was definitely a plot point for me. But again, I'm picking out a lot of stuff. It's not my favorite of the first trilogy. The first one definitely is, and then this one.
It was definitely not as bad as the third one, which we'll review.
Yeah, the third one has its own little entry.
That's another video.
Yeah, but this one, and then it ends with Hammond's character talking that they just need to live in peace and they're free, and it definitely leaves open what could potentially happen, especially if lawyers and scientists and all these evil corporations stay out of it and just let the dinosaurs be. But again, they were living on Isla Nublar, right? Or is it Sorna? Sorna. No, it's Sorna. Whichever one you guys know. I'll figure it out for the next one. Because the next one takes place on the same island, but again, it's Site B, which is where they're all living. And
cage-free.
Right, cage-free for the next for this movie and the next movie, and then it goes back, and then you basically forget about this island. But still, it was a cool plot point, and I was excited to see where they would go, if anywhere, after this one. So that's basically how it wrapped. And then, Hammond and Harding are falling asleep because they're probably tired after everything they went through.
I want to bring up a point about Hammond.
Final thoughts. Here we go.
Okay. So for the first movie and this movie, Hammond is just out of the line of fire, sitting back like, I just want to save animals. I just want to save dinosaurs. Just sweet old innocent man. I spare no expense. But he's never the one out there saving or rescuing or whatever, getting, in danger and possibly eaten. He's just the one standing in the back, paying for everything, ordering people around, ordering people to the island. And at the end of the day, he's just like, well, 3 people died, a few people died. I just want to save the dinosaurs.
Wow, you've held that hostility in.
I don't know. I'm just like, you old fart.
He pays for it all.
I know, but people are dying over what he did.
He didn't know this was going to happen.
Dinosaurs die, you need to leave them dead.
Are you related to Ian Malcolm? That's essentially what he's been saying.
You're playing God.
Life finds a way. So you hate Hammond, sweet little innocent old man Hammond.
I just realized that. I'm like, this guy is just always in the background, ordering people around, and they're getting killed, and he seems like he doesn't care.
He cares. He's trying to protect everybody. It's just stuff keeps happening beyond his control. Any other issues with sweet old Hammond or anybody else?
Nope, that's it, I think.
Did you like the movie at least?
Yes, I do like this one. Not as good as the first, but it's good because I like Jeff Goldblum.
There you go. Can't get enough of Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
And he won't show up again until Fallen Kingdom, so the next 2 movies is kind of sad because you're without him. Although he does have a throwaway cameo as his book is being read in Jurassic World, which was a nice homage to the character from the first trilogy. But yeah, so yeah, that would basically be it for this one. And it'll be in 2001 before Jurassic Park 3 is released.
2001?
This was in 97. That one was released in
Oh,
2001.
okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Girl.
I thought you were saying 2001 when the next one's gonna be released. I'm like, we went back in time then.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's good. All right, so with that said, yes, you're right. A little parched. Rexy. Good. Damn it, Rexy.
And with that being said.
So with that being said, that's a wrap for this video. We appreciate you checking in to Mark and Fallon Just Saying. Our movie review of The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Show us some love, give us some likes, subscribe. Poor little Rexy. You can't handle a soda.
Give us a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on that little bell icon so you know when we upload. Thank you so much for watching.
From me, Fallon, and Rexy. Until next time, stay frosty, and we'll see you at the Cineplex. Bye-bye.